A very popular New Year's resolution is to exercise more, and for some, playing a sport is more enjoyable and rewarding than going to the gym.
There are a few clubs in Maine dedicated to an ancient form of competition, and they are always looking for new faces to pop in. David Guildford has the story.
Okay, sounds good.
David Lavoie is being a supportive father, especially since he's just sent his 10-year-old daughter, Cece, out to face someone with a sword.
See your kid out there against another kid who's 4 or 5 years older and twice the size of them and a lot bigger and a lot faster and stronger is it's a little scary at first, but you learn to deal with it, and I think that's part of how they learn.
Nice, Cece, there you go.
Here at the Portland Fencing Center, Cece is well equipped, though, including with a sharp mind.
Sometimes it feels scary because, sometimes you think the person will be hard to fence, but most of the time you just gotta believe in yourself and say, I can do this.
Cece has already been fencing here for nearly 3 years. 25 years ago, this scene was the dream of Nancy Reynolds. She moved to Maine hoping her childhood sport would be here too. When she couldn't find it, she created this place.
Put the ad in the paper, and my answering machine was full when I came home. And I said, I guess I should be careful what I wish for.
We came by during a tournament. These are all members of the club from age 8 and up. It was a full house, including anxious parents watching on. 7 of Reynolds' students qualified for February's Junior Olympics. Fencing is an ancient sport, and it has a reputation for being posh. Reynolds takes all abilities and offers lessons.
Well, I think it did start high society. I think today the fencing is offered to what we call the grassroots. We start out here in our club, and then we go into higher levels, but it doesn't necessarily mean high society.
If your pursuits are a little more medieval.
Eli, would you like to fight?
Yes, I would.
Across town, this group has your fix.
I love coming here. It's one of my favorite things on the planet to do.
Casey Ivan moved to Maine in 2021. He practices historical European martial arts and found others like him. Then he founded Moose Historical Fencing. As you can see and hear, these swords are steel, dull, but much larger and heavier than a fencing foil. Here, they teach and learn proper technique, studying 14th century German text.
Is there homework that comes with this club?
Only if you want to.
That's Rachel Helm, club president.
Who doesn't love a sword? And if you don't love a sword, why don't you love a sword?
There's studying books, and then there's studying one's opponent.
It's going to be a middle how, which is going to translate to a middle hew. So it's going to come in from the side here.
That's Rue Nelson, standing across from Helm. The two are an item, despite crossing swords weekly.
Ah.
How many awkward car rides home have you had from this place?
None, thankfully.
None, thankfully, yes. Yeah, it is very, very fun.
I want to be clear, this is not live-action role-playing.
He could actually win.
Oh, it's anyone's game.
Or LARPing, as it's called, where people go into a field and pretend to be royalty. Though this group isn't insulted by the assumption.
No, not at all. We actually have some overlap. There's a few people in our club who are also LARPers.
Newbies here can train on foam swords for about 8 months before using steel, and it can take a while to get all the proper gear. Both clubs take their sword play seriously, and both leave room for silliness.
For my money, I would give you best dressed.
Thank you.
Moose! Moose, 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 moose!
And there are real lessons to be learned here, even if the stakes aren't life or death.
You know, I feel at my most mindful, actually, in the midst of a spar and in the midst of a fight.
You go home not necessarily the winner. And that learning curve of overcoming the loss is really, I think, what keeps the kids going.
Well,
Very
David,
cool.
yeah, certainly. I mean, try something new in the new year. There you go.
That is certainly something new for a lot of people, yes.
David Guilford reporting there.